Hello and welcome to the MegaMonsterCast. For today, we are talking about episode 22 of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I am Nick. With me are Alex and Josh.
Hi.
Hello.
Fuck this mind. Ironic for the episode we're talking about.
Yeah, this was a hell of a preface.
This episode is tough. So this episode opens with a flashback to a conversation that Asuka and Kaji had, presumably before they're introduced in the series, correct?
Correct.
Where she basically throws herself at Kaji, and he's being Kaji. He's rejecting her, but he's rejecting her with his words, not with his actions.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, no, you're a kid.
Yeah.
Be a kid.
But at the same point in time, he's also like laying there, not moving at all, as she like legitimately throws herself onto him.
Yeah.
Subtlety
Still,
is
extremely problematic.
Yep. And then we get a series of images and a doll with its head ripped off as we hear her say that to look at her.
Look what I can do. Rips head off.
Yeah. So we get, this is our introduction to Asuka's backstory. We find out that her mom killed herself and after going insane. And
she tried to not go
In the
alone.
membrane.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's always. I mean, look at Jonestown. It's better with people.
We also get that Asuka's mom has this like Raggedy Ann doll, basically, that she treats like she's Asuka.
Good. We have good Asuka, then we have bad Asuka.
Yep.
Good Asuka dies with me. Bad Asuka lives.
Yep, good old BH and GH.
Terrible.
That show's coming back.
Yeah.
That's gonna be back in 2 months. Yeah. So we get a bunch of scenes of Asuka being a sad little girl because, I mean, there's no way you wouldn't be.
That's what happened.
Yeah, there's no chance in hell she couldn't be a sad little girl because that's just awful. And then we cut to present.
She has a little bit of PTSD from the situation.
Yep. Well, then we cut to the present, and
that's the kind of trauma that sticks around.
Mm-hmm. Again, we cut to the present, and Asuka is now.
Got your trauma?
She's.
Give that back. My mother gave it to me.
Yep.
That's mine.
So, when we cut back, we find out that Asuka's sync rate is steadily decreasing, and a judgment call is made on let's prioritize trying to fix up the Unit 0 instead of the Unit 2, because we're not really sure if Asuka's going to be able to pilot much longer.
And this is just perfect for her sync rate and self-worth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing like going, oh, well, this one needs attention, so therefore we're going to deprive it. It's like failing schools and going like, well, you don't get any more federal money because you're not doing great.
Yep.
There's also her mom's like, you should have died with me. We could have been really synced then.
We also find out that
Asuka's mom didn't try hard enough to get absorbed into the Ava. That was the problem.
Yep.
It was, obviously.
Yep. We also find out that they're taking the units 5 and 6, which were being built in Germany, and they're basically using them for spare parts for the currently functioning Avas. That they're just scrapping those Avas and they're using them for parts to keep the current ones moving at this point.
Do we know if those have pilots?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Because the unit, so the only ones that had pilots up until now were in this current continuity were 0 through 3. In the rebuild continuity, we do get another pilot who is a pilot for one of the other Avas, though. But in this continuity, the ones you've seen are the only ones around. So yeah. And you never get to see the ones that they turn into scrap, more or less. But you
say, like, if that was your Ava getting scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh man.
You just got two more problematic teenagers running around somewhere.
Yep. I mean, we do have one more running around for sure. He's on the moon.
Yeah, he is.
The moon?
The moon! Haunts you.
Something to mention, since we're talking about the other Ava units, is specifically Gendo mentions at one point that they're moving forward with the mass-produced models.
Oof.
Yep. That they are...
Gendo needs to be stopped.
Yep. Just wait. Just wait.
Yep.
Spoiler alert.
Just wait.
Spoiler alert. You get to see the mass-produced models.
I have seen
we do.
a clip of them.
You've seen them already?
I've seen a clip of them, yeah.
Okay, yeah, the fucking white ones with the fucking whale mouths.
Yeah, that's disturbing as all hell.
Oh yeah, they're creepy looking.
They got dummy plugged, right?
Yeah, they're all using the dummy plug system at that point. They've decided they're going to toss out the human element entirely.
Nothing could
Human
go wrong.
Instrumentality Project removes the human element. There's nothing deeply sinister about that.
When we get to the Human Instrumentality Project, we will talk about that more, because there's a lot to unpackage with what, like, obviously, since we did our live reaction to it, we see some of human instrumentality, but you see a little sliver of it without the context of the entirety of it. It's complicated. So anyway, getting back to the episode, Asuka can't seem to get her calls through to Kaji. I wonder what's going on there. I wonder if he's already dead. And she's hanging out near the train tracks, and she sees Shinji and Rei, who are hanging out together, and she's immediately upset about this.
Why? It's a beautiful father or son and mother moment right here.
Mm-hmm. Well, specifically, she talks about how, like, you know, he spent a month inside of his Ava, and he's back to normal. And she connects that immediately to her losing, which is like a big theme of this episode, is her confidence is completely shot because she's been on a losing streak and other people have been cleaning up instead of her. And her entire...
It's only gonna get better, right?
Yep.
Better?
Like she's only going through her own personal hell.
Yep. Because now she, like, the one thing she places all of her self-confidence on, she's not excelling at anymore. Where originally she was brought on as, like, hypothetically the one that's supposed to excel, because she's using the, like, a production model instead of the prototype and the test model.
Yeah, she's got the new hotness.
Mm-hmm. Except not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yep. She tells Shinji to pick up the phone because it might be Kaji. She doesn't want to do it herself. She wants Shinji to do it because she wants to exert some level of control over the situation. And then...
well, that was doomed to fail.
Yep. And then he's like, yeah, it's not Kaji, it's your mom. Here you go. And then we don't know. Yep. Then we don't get the full context of what their conversation is because German, and because Shinji doesn't understand any of what's going on anymore.
It's such a shock to hear the German.
Mm-hmm.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, you kind of forget for a while that she speaks German.
He's a German native.
Well, not only so, like, it's kind of funny because she puts so much of her like self-worth on the fact that she's an Ava pilot. She speaks 3 languages fluently.
Yeah,
but has no self-worth.
Yep, like she is an incredibly smart person, and she's entirely focused on this one thing. And like, don't get me wrong, it's a super important thing considering, you know, the world could end, but at the same point in time, like, she has so many other facets of her life where she could be very successful if she chose to focus on those, and that would have brought her confidence up. But no one brings that up to her, and even if they did, she probably wouldn't listen because she wants to, like, she's not capable of listening to other people at this point.
No.
Like, the only person she would have potentially listened to at this point is Kaji, and because he's dead, she can't, like, no one could get her out of this. This is, like, a hell of her own making.
No one can save me.
Yep. This one older man that I threw myself at sexually isn't around to save me anymore. Gotta love Evangelion.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. So we find out that she's the woman that called was not in fact her mother, but her not her,
right?
yeah, her mother in name, not in biology. And then we cut to her getting ready to take a bath, and she just starts to like hammer on the idea of like, I don't want to take a bath in the same bathtub as those two. I don't want to use the same washing machine as them. I don't want to use the same toilet as them. I don't want to breathe the same
She's
air.
really acting out and not doing herself any favors
Oh,
in
yeah.
this moment.
Yeah, because she's just lashing out. And like,
it's like she's a kid.
Yep. She starts like focusing in on like, oh, I hate these people. I hate everyone. And she has like this moment of like, honestly, like surprising honesty where she like admits that she hates herself more than she hates any of these other people.
And Misato's just like, been there, girl.
Yep. Misato can hear her through the fucking door, and she's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing with your bullshit, kid.
Yeah, child's play for Misato.
Yep. And then they go in again, and they see that Asuka's sync rate is just barely high enough to get the Ava to move. That she is, like, the fluctuations even look like it fluctuates between too low and just high enough. So, like, barely able to get this thing functional. If anything else happens, she's kind of fucked. And Misato's like, well, you got to give her some grace. Like, she's on her period, and, you know, trying to give her, like... I
did not think there was any reason to include that context.
I think Misato just wanted to kind of, like, give her an out.
Yeah.
And
she would have known better than anybody that no one in that control room was going to give a fuck about that feature.
That's true.
That was only going to make things worse for Asuka.
Fair, but again, that's I read it as she's trying to give Asuka an out, even though she knows no one's going to take it. Yep. But yeah. So we also find out that Ritsuko is in fact a cat lady.
Disgusting.
Yep.
Why is that always weaponized?
'Cause every society has decided that. Every society has decided it's a bad thing. And then Asuka uses an elevator with Rey. And I love how truly uncomfortable this elevator ride is. Where so much of it
becomes physical.
Yep, so much of this ride is just complete silence. As Rey is.
God, every elevator ride is.
Yeah, well,
Who
and
talks in an elevator?
Like a urinal. Are you seriously just having a conversation right now with me?
Mm-hmm. Well, I love to like.
Why did you stand directly next to me?
Yeah.
You know the rule. If there's only that available, that's the only acceptable.
Okay,
you
so
go
this
in the
is
sink.
this is a weird.
Like a gentleman.
So this is a weird one. I remember when I was a kid, there was like a Flash game on Newgrounds where it tested your bathroom. It tested your bathroom knowledge on which urinal you're allowed to use. So it would give you like various situations.
Time to make that a Flash game?
Yep. And it's like gives you all these situations, and like the last one, like there doesn't, like you look at it and you're like there's no right answer. And the right answer is to click the door, and you're supposed to act like you made a mistake and go back out.
You don't have to pee.
Yep, it's either use the toilet or just walk out because you're not using any of those urinals.
I didn't even know the door was an option.
Walk out or you piss in that weird floor drain.
Oh, God.
Standing in the middle of the room.
Why does it sound like you're somewhat advocating for the trough system?
It's free ice.
Yep. But no, so
why did they put ice in it?
So it makes it steamy.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it being aerosolized.
Okay, fucking side quest here. About fucking troughs. Y'all see that video of the guy at some like convention, and it's a trough, and there's somebody filming, and they're just going up to the trough and washing their hands. They're like, they smell it, like, this isn't a sink, is it? Like, no.
Yep. Oh God.
Yeah. I'm just imagining being the other guy in that situation and being like, "You sound insane."
Ooh, a cookie.
So getting back to awful. So getting back to insane.
Oh, this episode has an explicit tag on it.
Yeah. It's okay. It's marked 8. Every episode we make is marked 18+. I learned that right away.
Good man.
Yeah, so
right.
Yeah, so I genuinely love the scene, the elevator scene. There's a lot to unpackage just in the way that this elevator scene is set up and framed. So just based on what you can see of the elevator, it's clear that Rey is like standing in front of the door, facing the door, waiting for
door like a normal person.
Yep. And Asuka has chosen to move past her or go into the back of the elevator and stand in a corner, trying to be nonchalant with like her foot up, but also like really strongly crossing her arms to, body language protect herself because she does not feel comfortable around Rey. I love that little detail of like she's standing in essentially Rey's blind spot, trying to act nonchalant while her body language like strongly conveys that she is super uncomfortable in this situation and that she does not want to be around Rey.
It's not like they have a great relationship or a big amount of trust between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you say that?
Well, they've never they've gone on like joint missions together, but they've never like had to do anything that would facilitate them actually becoming companions of any sort.
It's because Asuka's jealous of the potential love interest.
Well, actually, kind of. That's part of it. But it's also... Remember when she goes to school for the first time, she tries to have a conversation with Rey, and Rey clearly doesn't want to have that conversation with her, and it goes incredibly poorly. And after that, you never see her try to interact with Rey outside of like either being a pilot or directly interacting with someone else who is also interacting with Rey. And then, of course, Rey does the Rey thing where she's like, okay, so here's the problem. You need to fix this problem so you can keep being a pilot. She's like, you've closed off your heart to the Ava. It knows that you're closed off to it at this point. You need to fix that or you're not going to be a pilot anymore. And, of course, Asuka...
Then what will you have to live for?
Yep. Well, and, of course, like, for Rey's perspective, it's like, no, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what we're doing. This is why we're here. This is the problem. If you fix the problem, you can keep doing what you're supposed to. And again, Asuka just immediately tries to reject what she's saying. Like, no, fuck you. I don't need to listen to what you're saying.
If I had come up with this solution myself, it would be different, but you came up with it, therefore no.
Yeah, you're not even a person. You're just a doll. Yep, the doll thing. And she says, like, if Ikari told you to kill yourself, you'd do it. And she's like, yeah, I would. Like, I trust him completely. Yeah, if he told me to, like, die, I would die for him.
Ridiculous.
And specifically, she goes off on how much she, like, resents Shinji in the situation, too. Because Shinji's on a hot streak, and he's only been winning against angels lately. So he's the one she resents in this moment because he's in the opposite position of her. He keeps killing them. She doesn't.
She needs someone to let her bitch, too.
Yep. And then she hits Rey because she fucking hates her.
We saw what happened to the last person that hit Rey.
Didn't we, though?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of happens again. Kind of,
yeah. Yeah, we cut back over to the school, and everyone's talking about how weird it is that they're all gone. Cut to Asuka.
They haven't figured it out.
Well, they're probably doing something important. Because they all know that they're pilots at Nerve. They're probably like, yeah, they're probably doing something important to make sure that we don't all die.
Yeah, definitely one of our friends just didn't lose a leg.
Oh, they bring that up, too, that he's still in the hospital and he hasn't been discharged yet.
I'm sure he has full brain function.
Yep. So anyway...
no chance of brain trauma and all that mess.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, Asuka shows up to the unit 2 and she's like, you're my doll. Fuck off with not listening to me. Do what I need to. I don't know why you have a soul in the first place. Just,
really connecting with the Ava here.
Yep, just do what I say and everything works out. And then we find out that there's a new angel up in space again.
Yeah.
In space.
And this one arguably is the angel that looks most like what people think of when they think of angels. Because it's just these wings of light in space.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This one's called Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
Or Ariel or something like that.
Yeah, so...
also went
translated as Messenger of God.
It sends the message of, you're not good enough to Asuka.
Well, yeah. I mean, she did kind of ask for it. She literally told it to come. Not like that. I mean, she said, come and fight me. And
so,
it's like, all right, I'm going to fight you.
So to get this on a different track, Asuka finds out that Rey is supposed to take point and that she's supposed to be support. And she's like, no, fuck that. I'm going now. I'm going to be the one that kills this thing. You're not sending me in as support for Rey. I'm going to kill it before she has a chance to get out on the battlefield. And she launches prematurely. And they're like, well, Asuka's like, what are you fucking doing? I'm going to be the hero, so you guys have to love me.
It's my turn.
Yep. And
But Asuka, no one loves you.
Yeah. Well, and Misato was like, yeah, just let her do it. And Ritsuko's like, oh, okay. So this is like she's either going to kill the angel or she's going to fail and we're going to get rid of her situation. Like, that's what this is down to now, huh?
This is the moment.
Which, I mean, you can tell, like, Misato's just, the entire episode, she's been done with Asuka's bullshit.
She's like, God.
Because Asuka's really laying it on heavy here.
Oh, yeah. So, anyway, it's raining. Yeah. It's raining. Asuka gets this gun. She's going to try to fire into space with this gun, which is not the sniper rifle either. It's just a regular fucking... Like, it's a big-ass rifle, but it's not the sniper rifle that they were supposed to be using.
It's a regular-ass gun.
Yep. It's a big gun, but it's a gun.
I take my human gun.
Mm-hmm. So she tries to attack, only for this ray of light to come down from the sky from it. And
I was gonna say, are you not going to call that one out?
Yep.
No, I already did it once this episode.
Okay.
I kind of like the visual of, like, this light comes down and the rain stops on only her as its attack hits her. And she starts freaking out because it's trying to invade her mind.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's also that, like, Christian symbolism. Like, that's how it's always symbolized how God's speaking to you is God rays, the ray of light coming through the clouds, shining on the individual.
Yes. Josh is going to be in charge of all the symbolism for that and the symbolism for the music this episode, because
I took world religion, people.
Yeah.
The choice of Hallelujah is insane to me.
There's a lot of actual meaning behind that one.
I'm going to actually let you just, you take point for the next couple minutes on that one, Josh. I'm going to let you do the analysis on that.
Well, I mean, it comes down to, like, two different things. I mean, one, the song is about, you know...
It's a religious song.
Yeah. Well, it's also, it's like, specifically... The chorus that it's at is Christ's passion, execution, the resurrection, and his ascension to heaven. And the first part is, to spoil alert for what's coming, is one, Gendo sacrifices her in this whole sequence. And then we get...
She's only a tool to him anyways.
Yeah, well, true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even with Shinji trying to, get Gendo to save her. But we get the spear of, what is it?
Longinus.
Spear of Longinus.
Yeah. Who is the
I'll
guy...
pronounce it in the Netflix.
Yeah, who is the guy that, pierced Jesus' side. So the symbolism of Rey taking out the spear and then chucking it at the angel as essentially the reverse of the crucifixion scene.
Well, and
which is his execution.
And Rey is the only being born not of the union between man and woman. True. In the series. Because she's a clone.
Yeah, and the resurrection portion of it, I mean, we're going to get that in the movie.
We do. Spoiler alert, her story's not over, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, the ascension, you could pretty much sum up to Gendo ascending up to another level at this moment, getting rid of a huge obstacle in his way, being that spear, and Shinji at the end of the, series.
Yes.
And then, too, you get the perversion of the song, of it being, this uplifting celebration and this horrific moment that we're about to receive of the giant mindfuck that literally sends her into her own personal hell, like we discussed earlier.
Yep.
She gets violated in a very real way.
Yep, they use the word
Yeah.
defiled more than once in the subtitles. So Alex, to bring up something you mentioned in the last episode, so the way that Misato like contorts her body when she finds out that Kaji dies, the Unit 2 does a lot of like strong contortions of its body in response to what Asuka's feeling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It definitely has the same
Mhm.
affect energy to it.
Yeah, like this is a moment where like the Ava is conveying just excruciating agony, and while Asuka's trying to like hold it together inside of it, outwardly it's showing what she's going through.
They are
Also-
linked after all.
Yep. Also, did you notice that we see the Unit 2's eyes for the first time, and they're not where the lenses are?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yep. That it's under the forehead plate and inside of the mouth of the unit.
There's more about these that we don't understand.
Yep. And you'll get some of that in the movie. Some of it.
But not all.
Yep. You gotta wait another 25 years for some more of it. Yeah.
I'm glad I lived in this time.
So, as she is having her mind defiled by the angel, Rey is preparing to fire the actual sniper rifle, which she does a really good job of. Like, she gets its AT field, which I glossed over this a little bit, but Asuka also does a really good job of. She gets close with that first shot that she takes on the angel. Doesn't hit, but she gets close. But this also shows even if it had hit, well, it wasn't going to do anything because they can't penetrate its AT field at that range.
Yeah, she should have jumped and she probably could have hit it.
Yep. Just needs to shoot it like LeBron.
Oh, no.
That's a callback to a conversation we had way before we started recording this episode. Yep. You guys can kind of figure out when this episode was recorded based on those reactions.
Based off that sound.
Yep. Yeah, then we get flashbacks to little baby Asuka.
Mm.
And
He's going on a mind trip, bro.
yep, she's like, she got a cute little monkey doll from her new mom, who she tore it because she didn't want a new mom. She wants her old mom. And we get all these like reveals of. We get like a lot of what her relationship was like with her biological mom and how it was incredibly unhealthy and abusive.
Yeah, definitely the kind of stuff that leaves scars.
Yep. And then we get the image of the hanging doll and the fact that, you know, like, we're aware that her mom also hung herself by this point. And
that was just her mom practicing, like, okay, if I tie it like this.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'll work.
it was her. I love that, like, because we see earlier in the episode, like, they don't have to say, like, oh, this was her, like, thinking she was killing you. We just kind of know, like, oh, she hung the doll, too, but she thinks the doll's Asuka. So she was trying to kill Asuka with her in that moment. She just wasn't here mentally enough to know the difference anymore.
Yeah, she killed good Asuka.
Mm-hmm. And then we get all these like flashes of moments where like she wants people to see her and care about her throughout the series. And how that's all kind of artifice.
Has no idea how to ask for it. Has no idea how to accept it.
Yep. It's all
knows
just.
She wants it.
Yep. And again, that's a lot of the characters in this show. They just don't know how to like communicate with others. which, I mean, they're also teenagers. They're not going to, but they're incredibly broken teenagers at that. And then we get a scene that I really like, the scene of Asuka walking backwards across the train tracks. And it's like, and right as she's, she sees this figure off in the distance who I interpret that as it's her mother that she's trying to get to. Or
When
maybe
you saw her
Kaji.
as walking backwards, I thought she was just moonwalking. I thought she was listening to Michael.
And then she's swarmed by these like cloaked figures that become this red sea almost around her. And then we flash back to all these interactions she had with Shinji.
That idiot.
Well, and I kind of love that too, because she calls out to Kaji, but everything we see after, like, Kaji and Shinji standing next to each other, is just about Shinji. It's not about Kaji at all anymore. Like,
because she can't admit her feelings.
Oh yeah, no, like that's the undercurrent, is that like she's calling out to Kaji, but like with her words, but internally she's trying to reach out to Shinji. And we see all these like important moments that the two of them shared.
If only their relationship was set up to be anything other than unhealthy.
I mean, yeah.
Well, obviously, two unhealthies make a healthy.
Mm-hmm.
3 rights make a left.
Yes. I didn't count. Fuck you.
You can only count to 4.
2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left.
Also, this episode would have given a lot of people seizures.
Yeah, it keeps flashing, obviously, as you can see on my face.
You can see it on mine, too, I'm pretty sure.
You can see it on your back wall, but...
Yeah. But,
like this! Have fun with that, people!
Yeah. But after all these, like, moments, she specifically talks about how she's been defiled and she's dirty now. And, oh boy, that's a lot.
Ooh, that's, that was hard.
Yep. And then...
Seizure warning, by the way.
Yep. She can't move the Ava at all. It's completely inoperable for her now, so she can't do anything to try to defend herself anymore.
Literally.
Yep. And they consider at one point, some people consider trying to send Shinji out, and that's immediately shot down as, no, we're not going to risk you being compromised. You're staying here. Rey, go get the Spear of Longinus. You're throwing that thing into fucking space.
Because this won't be important later on.
Yep. Well, and Misato brings up, like, well, isn't that keeping this third impact from happening? Having that thing shoved into Adam? And he's like, no, we're just going to do this anyways. So it'll be fine. And she's like, oh, okay, so this was never, like, that was never stopping anything. What are we trying to do?
Go figure, it's all been a lie.
Yep.
Every little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, considering... I was going to say, considering, like, episode 24, we find out what's in the basement is a lie to everybody.
What's in the basement?
So I got to... Spoilers for everybody. So I got to ask, do you think... We've... Alex, have we talked about where Adam actually is with you? I think we have.
Yeah, it's on Gendo, right?
Yeah. Do you think it's part of his hand by this point?
No telling. Probably.
I think it is. I think by this point, he's had it grafted to his hand. I don't know exactly when it would have happened, but by this point in the series, it's a part of his body now. Yeah, they graft it into his hand.
Yeah, the little Adam fetus.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to... He's trying to transcend humanity, and that's his way of doing it.
Did we ever discuss what Adam even is?
It's one of the project. So we talked about this off camera. We'll tell you. Well, let's end this episode and then we'll talk about it. So, Ray pulls the spear out of Adam, and Adam regrows its legs. She goes up to the surface, chucks the spear into space. It busts through the angel's AT field, destroys it, and then keeps going and ends up in a lunar synchronous orbit, where it is now orbiting around the moon.
Just waiting to be retrieved one day.
Yep.
By a special little boy.
Yep. But yeah, so we get that. And one second, let me get myself a little bit ahead here. So we get that, and then we cut to the end where Shinji tries to have a conversation with Asuka.
Okay, you doing okay there, little buddy?
Yep. It's like, hey, I'm glad you're okay. You can go fuck off and die, Shinji. I was saved by her. I would have if she hadn't, I would rather have chosen to die than find out that she was the one that saved me. I also would have died if anyone else here who was capable of saving me saved me.
I tried to save you.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you.
So anyway, that was the episode. This is
Fun times.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is where the show gets really dark moving forward. Like it's always been dark, but this episode, I'd say like this episode and the next two episodes are both very dark, and episodes 25 and 26 are dark on their own, but once you get the context of the movie, they become incredibly dark.
Yep.
Like 25 and 26 are extremely dark when you know the context for what's happening. Yeah, that was the episode. Any final thoughts before we call this one?
Too much fun.
Yeah. All right. Then with that, we will call this one. Tune in next time for episode 23. Bye-bye.